I'm gonna be honest. The trade that, or the asset that I think has probably one of the best setups for today is actually YM. YM, as opposed to NQ and ES, has not actually delivered yet. However, it has everything set up for delivery. Meaning, if you go to the daily, we've already had a daily change in state of delivery here. Okay, that's when it happened. From this high, when you drop back down, we were bearish. Then from there, we corrected. So one, A wave, B wave, this push up is C wave. If the push up is C wave, that makes this leg an inversion failure model. We are currently in between the 236 and 382, which means any type of entry opportunity at this point in this range will be highly sensitive for sales. And ultimately, I would be looking to hold a swing trade on YM for the entire ADR. So that would be my goal and mindset for YM today. I'll just be holding for the whole day, like just no closing of the trade. I don't think YM is going to do exactly what NQ and ES is going to do, but I definitely would be looking to just hold it. It should be very sensitive. It really doesn't matter what happens overall. It should be very sensitive for sales. Now, we just recently got a 1 hour change in state of delivery here. They've already tested it twice, right? Because even them coming here to the open and then even the other hour. So it's like, I'm considering even just putting on a sell just from right here, just to kind of hold. And then if they push up, I'll add another one. But I have no belief that this is bearish, and I'm willing to kind of hold this with a stop above the highs. A great thing about it is we've already swept out London highs. It was only pre-New York where we did this daily sweep. And then, so that's the high of the day there, pre-New York. So there is no London high or low to sweep. There is no Asian high or low to sweep. We are just in, New York and ready to go. So, I already know they got a good chance of moving up or down. But personally, like I said, I'm gonna start with my trade based off a very high time frame, which is I'm following a bearish trend that's already really gave the entry signal here, but I'm willing to sell this even if it comes up, and basically my stop would be like up here. This is a swing trade minimum, I'm thinking here, but let's say after 2 p.m. the 4 hour candle is down below here, then I'll even target down to this low. But this is a type of trading that I want everybody to be able to do, is to genuinely understand when we are in a high probability day where the market is really set up to make a run and rip. But yeah, the midnight opens up here, so like I said, I don't mind if when 9:30 opens they send me in the drawdown. I'm not worried about it. For me, it's a swing. All right, gold did what was expected just now. Like I said, it's a pretty low entry at a place where it can be very reactive. We're inside of the what fair value gap is here? It's 7 hour. 7 hour fair value gap internal sweep on the 7 hour. For me, the trade that I really want on gold is sales, but I want it obviously from a premium more than I want it from here. So once we get back over midnight open, if we can get back up around these prices, I would like to take it. If it drops down first, I still think it can come up strong and then go for something like this. That's how I see the day going. So I'll just end up, having to wait that out. I'm not gonna attempt multiple times for this short. And if this just drops, then it just drops, and I'm just not in it, because the goal is to, really focus on a trade from a premium. If you're looking for a sell, you want to buy low, sell high. So that was the last attempt there. In the event that they were just gonna, run strong. So, it's all about probability. The probabilities are best in this premium because basically if you go from the low to the high, the 236 is back up here. We're still around the 382, so this is not horrible, but anything where we can get any type of manipulation or, play up here around that 236 level is going to be where you really want to sell from. And then also from high to low, that's going to be above the 50%. And anywhere above that will be a legitimate premium. So that's the mindset for, trying to catch a trade today on gold. So we're 2 minutes from the open. Personally, I am not focusing on NQ, not yet. It's very bearish, but we're kind of below these two lows that we just swept. I mean, the next target would be here, but I kind of want to see it manipulate, maybe drop down, push up, maybe fill this fair value gap back. So I'm just focusing on YM since it hasn't delivered. I feel like this is where the money will end up going. Ultimately, I got some alerts here, and we'll see what that does. All right, about to get freaky. So honestly, guys, believe it or not, I want this to come in here because that's just gonna give me a better trade, a reason to enter in more. If they just drop, I'm not gonna enter in more because I expect for them to kind of drop, pull back, drop, pull back until we finally get this 4-hour candle close. All right, 9:30 hit. But really, it's gonna go when after this 4-hour candle closes, when it gets real, and we really want to catch the top wick of the next 4-hour candle. But like I said, this is a swing. I'm not putting a TP on this. I'm not really putting a TP on this trade. I expect for it to do a lot of stuff, but personally, I'm going to see if I can hold it for whatever the ADR is. All right, let's take a look at Goldilocks. I think it's about to go ahead and do a sell-off now. You see that? About to close back below inversion. So this is what I was saying, where the sell that I took was kind of not the best timing, but the odds of them still sweeping out these lows, very strong. And it also makes sense. You got an internal sweep, a new low. What do I teach about that? That they'll pull back into range, 50%. That's what we teach. So the reason why I put this at the 50, I have a rule for trades like this. I really don't like to enter when it's at these levels. If anything, I want 382, 236, but I'll settle for the 50 if I know that it's kind of like really ready. So if it don't get hit in, it's fine. Like I said, this is more of a scalp in terms of what I think gold really wants to do. But we could be surprised. Maybe they really hit some craziness. As y'all can see on YM, look at this. I consider putting my pending here. That's why I drew this exact fair value gap. It's basically a regular fair value gap. They kind of traded through it, but then they engulfed back down. This is one of my ideal areas. But the problem is that at New York Open, you never know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. You know, if they might miss you by a point. So like I said, when I'm on a trade like this where this is daily 4-hour everything confirmed, I'm not going to close this trade unless they absolutely invalidate the setup. Right? Meaning they would need to literally close above here, and then I'll just say it. Forget it. You know, y'all got it. And any type of entry signals that they do give after further confirming, I'll look for those entries and take those entries. But it's like, I'm not gonna lie, some of these trades like this are some of the hardest trades to catch and stay in. It really is. Sometimes it's even best to just literally set your take profit, set your stop loss, set your alerts, and don't even watch, because it's gonna test you, to the fullest extent. But we are absolutely selling from a beautiful premium with the timing and everything aligned. Like I said, this area up here is 236 of multiple ranges, but also the premium of any sell ranges after sweeping. And the daily is lined up. We already had a candle 2. This day was supposed to be candle 3, but it didn't. It failed and pushed up, but didn't make a higher high. So that just makes this day the delivery day. It's so simple, but yet, like I said, if you focus on a lower time frame, it's going to be tough. All right. Gold tap me in, but it didn't go anywhere yet. Okay. Remember, that target is really just a low. Let's see if they go for it. They did hit this low. Will they try to push straight up? I doubt it. But I guess we'll see. Like I said, not a super big fan of gold here, but I do feel like I feel like the market has not proven anything bullish yet, and that we kind of have a draw, so I'm just going for that draw. But the trade that I want and I'm going to end up holding today, like I said, is YM. So even if in the event in 24 minutes, let's say YM closes bearish 4-hour engulfing, I also still don't mind if, for sure, number one, that if it closes 4-hour engulfing, this is bearish. But if it pulled back like this, I would not mind. I would just keep loading it up for more entries until they actually hit a target. Stop loss is this? Gold really isn't doing much, and I know that's for a reason right now. Go ahead and leave gold alone. Probably still drop, but I'm gonna leave gold alone. Focus on the indices. I think I mentioned this yesterday. It's not a worth it trade for my eyes and my patience. We'll let it hit the lows. Let us see if it pushes back up into a premium and catch the better sells. So NQ, the first thing that it just did is it just tapped this new week opening gap. Okay, so this is, in my opinion, a place where I don't really want to, like I said, I'm waiting for NQ to like manipulate, sweep some highs or something. Overall, I think it's still bearish, but where it is just too much opportunity for also buys. One example you can kind of look at is if you go from high to low, we're at the 236, and then also if you go from low to high, we're in a discount. So it's a tough area for NQ. Now YM also seems to be reacting at the same time, so something I definitely want to pay attention to. And until that 4-hour closes engulfing, I definitely have to be mindful of the fact that the other indices are at an area where they have reaction. Now, the structure and everything though on YM is very different than NQ. Like I said, it has not hit any sell side targets at all. So I do believe that at some point it'll deviate, but I'll be watching for how it starts to develop. Like, for example, if this 1 hour decides to actually close engulfing, let's say, above this first presented fair value gap, right? So this is the 1 hour change in state of delivery to happen. We usually do want them to tap into the 1 hour fair value gap usually. In the event that, let's say, the market actually closes above the fair value gap, like it closes through it, that is a bad sign. It's a bad sign. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm just, whatever. No matter how many times they go back and forth, they could drop down here, they can come back. It does not matter. Stay, hold this trade until they actually give some legitimate sign. So right now, they re-hit that same area again. This is now actually a really strong looking sell. Basically an inversion that also will have swept the previous 15-minute high when this closes in 5 minutes. So if it stays down here and closes again, this will be a very strong signal. But let's see if they actually do that. They just came down to this 1 minute order block. We'll see what the reaction is like. So I feel like the next 15 minute will be telling, because if it's bearish, then boom, we're going straight to the next low. We go straight to the next low and we make a lower low. Then at that point, I would believe that we are going to make more lows. It's just we can make this low and keep dropping, or we could pull back in the range and then drop harder. Okay. 3.5 minutes and we'll know the truth. Like I said, I'm gonna wait on gold to like probably 10:30, 10:50. Gold did a lot last night. I'm not too excited about its early New York. All right, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Look at NQ. We're gonna let the 4 hour close for sure on NQ as well. But y'all see what's going on. Take a look at ES. How much different is ES? So NQ has all those levels, right? That it's sensitive. ES doesn't have that. ES doesn't really have that same situation. I mean, I guess on the 7 hour, we do have a order block, and then we got the even lows here just before it. So I can see what's up with that. But in 17 minutes, if this 4 hour candle still closes below all of this, it's like, yeah, maybe they even pull back, but it don't mean that they won't just continue to drop later on. YM, it don't have none of that stuff that they're talking about for real. I got a minute and a half. Let's see where this 15-minute candle close. Right now, it's not giving me the 15-minute candle that I want. What we want is for this. We don't want this 15-minute candle to close engulfing. I could consider a close and wait if they do this as a legitimate engulfing. But I would have to see how much that actually would change. How much that would actually change things. But they are reacting from the 1 minute order block. It hit this level twice. 1 minute. Looks like gold started its buy. That makes sense. $30 seconds. One thing I noticed is that in fact, I kind of do want this candle to close. It's not going to close 1 hour engulfing, but I do want this bullish candle. And the reason why is I want a failing bullish candle to close while touching this wick of the 1 hour order block there. That would be better for this hour if this hour at the end of 15 minutes did close bullish but didn't. As long as like this is a 1 hour breaker, y'all see this blue level. As long as it don't touch that, then it really don't matter or merely make a difference. All right, do we get the 15-minute candle close? Let's look and see. Okay, it just swept but did not close above, but now we got the next out, but also the low swept as well. So it's still kind of consolidating, chopping, no real direction just yet. Midnight open is up here. Definitely want to see them reach towards it and then fail. But if y'all don't like YM and you don't trade YM, I would say don't mind YM. We're just waiting for NQ and them to actually set up. Okay. It's time for me to start looking at this and make sure that I'm not in an inversion failure model. Five minute. Really no inversions were made. Really no inversions were made. They could hit the 50, that'll be good. 618 at the max. So yeah, like I said, these days be the hardest to hold. NQ still pushing up, but like I said, you don't necessarily want to be a buyer on a day like this. Not until they've actually given you, at least a 1 hour engulfing against the trend. So if they do print that, that's something to look at. So like gold can be an example of that in the next 17 minutes. In the event that gold is a 1 hour engulfing, kind of just want to wait for a nice deep pullback, and then we could try to take it to a high like this, an internal high or something. But gotta be sharp to try to pull that off. So it did just close strong on the 15-minute, but I'm not sure if that's enough to send it up yet. Kind of testing this 1 hour block right now. It's about to be 9:50. So about to enter a macro. We've swept both sides of the 8:50 macro after news happened at 8:30. So we swept the bottom and now we're sweeping the top. I also could see this turning into a sell. I don't love it though, but if they give an entry signal, then I would take it. But this is kind of one of my methods when we have news and we have accumulation for a macro. If we sweep both sides and the trade is not confirmed to go in that direction, I will take the trade in the other direction. And we're now about to be in a new macro as well. So there's a few different fair value gaps. You could tell how this move kind of moved unbalanced as it was going up. So it's also midnight open. I think they were tapping again. And go small sell here. And then the 5 minutes about to close as an engulfing candle, but also into a fair value gap. So if they shoot up, I wouldn't be surprised. What we're about to see if they respect this fair value gap here. So basically there's a 5 minute fair value gap for them to continue buying up. So it's either they shoot down or shoot up, but this is kind of like a crossroads for sure in the market. It looks like they're going to go for the 5 minute. But if they do drop, boy, it's going straight down to this low. Do got the triple tops. All right, so you see where they're going. I can clear a lot of this stuff off now. Okay, so the 5 minute fair value gap in this situation confirms this buy for me, especially once they close above this candle. So if they can close above that candle, that's a strong buy. Like I said, we already got the 15-minute order block here. This pullback is tapping into the wick of it, but also changing state of delivery as well. We now have come below the midnight open, but now we're closed above it and testing it. And then in 9 minutes, we getting a push, so we got a sweep, and this would be technically a candle 3 for a buy. Candle 4, meaning next hour should be even stronger buy. So I'll go something small here if I'm lucky. I'm not just gonna enter it though there. We'll see if they get me in this. If not, then I just leave it alone. Got an alert up there. But it's 9:50 though. This is, in my opinion, when the trading day really starts. Obviously, the first 15 minutes, is a lot of craziness a lot of times. And this is when things start to get a little bit more clear. And then you get the 4-hour close and kind of peep what's really going on. So y'all see how for this open for YM, it looks like chaos. But they haven't gone anywhere. And right here, this looks like a sell signal for sure. This looks like a sell signal. So nice order block that got swept, closed below. We did the change in state of delivery while also hitting here. And then now they've closed below it and tapped into it just then. This would be a point where I feel like you could start taking another entry once they start to engulf. Which from the 3-minute POV would be in the next minute close. So let's see if they actually close it engulfing or pull something off. There is a order block. Kind of missed the propulsion block, so I still think this is sales. All right, one extra entry, and we'll just put a stop above what they just did. And that is what we want to see on the higher time frame. Deep, nice sweep. Now, we really want the 5-minute. The 3-minute was cool, but we really want the 5-minute. The 5-minute can quickly try to change everything. And I'll put both stops here because in the event that they go up here, I'll just get a better entry later on. But I do think it's time for them to fall asleep. I feel like I gotta hit this area 1,000 times. Okay. If it's only gonna play off of the 38.2, then this would be a very strong sell from here. When that 4-hour closes in 6 minutes, it should get real. If they are only gonna play from here. If they never go up here and then they just start dropping, it should be really strong. But yeah, we're about to find out. You just got the 5-minute candle close. Kind of held the body of the 5-minute order block. So not the greatest. I want to see a actual engulfing. I want to see an actual engulfing. But the way they're tapping this, it definitely gives me the vibes that it's time for them to sweet. Just remember 9:30 opened up over here. So they've done this, 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 but they have not. What they did not do is they ain't coming back up here. All right, they after that last sweep into this little fair value gap that they did earlier, they've stayed with structure. Like structure has stayed bearish. It's a lot of faking out, but it stayed bearish. I got poked into gold, but I think I'll want to quickly just get this trade determined fast because I don't want to be in both. I want to focus on one. I don't want to watch both. Oh yeah, 5-minute fair value gap, 5-minute, 5-minute. You ain't never get nowhere either, but whatever. Main focus is YM. I'm probably about to just exit out on gold. I'm not sure what it's about to do or not. I got a good feeling that it'll buy. Still holding the 5-minute fair value gap, but I'm gonna put my energy into YM, the one that has not been hitting my stops. That's just an executive decision that I'm just gonna have to make for today. Because gold in that tiny range is not my friend. All right, got 2 minutes, and what I want to see is the 15-minute. It don't matter if the 15-minute pulls back a little bit, but as long as it closes lower than the previous 15-minute candle, I'm a happy camper. Just keeping it real. I'm a happy camper. But keep it real, guys. If you saw this structure and you saw this chopping here, it would not have been fun to want to trade this from an early low time frame standpoint, because the back and forth would have been horrendous. That's why I had made the decision to just say, look, I know how much balance is in my account. I'm thinking stop loss way up here. Y'all gonna have to come get me, especially when the target is way down here. But I don't know if they're gonna come back up into that higher range. I don't know. And the stop needs to stay where it is. Can't get scared out of this one. 2 entries is what I also wanted, so that way I can have a TP to hit and then also a TP to hold. So 1 to 10, 4,000. So that'd be like 6. All right, 4 hours about to close. Let's look at it from the 4-hour POV. Might want to move my stops a little bit higher to endure the swing. This is a candidate area, and then also figure out where 50% of this body is going to be. My stop is above 50% of the body, but I may go above the breaker. That turns us into a 1 to 5-ish for the farthest CP. It's really like a 1 to 3, but just a higher risk 1 to 3. So how does this change things? Look at y'all saw all this bullshit, right? But look at how the 1 hour closed. Complete engulfing, right? Complete breakout. Not breakout, but it completely broke whatever lows that it was coming from. So now we are in the 2 hour and 4 hour, 2 hour complete break below structure, 4 hour complete break below the 4 hour. You got a 4 hour breaker here, maybe, and stops is way out of the way. We're in a candle, I guess 4, but it should be pure delivery because candle 3 didn't deliver.